Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, Paul UK Reefer, and here is an update on the Sea Max Nano, which I've had a few comments requesting an update, so here it is. It's been moved into a different room so obviously makes way for the new Red Sea tank. That move was about 5 weeks ago now, and it's really just starting to settle in. I wasn't aware how much the tank would have reacted to such a shock event, but I've really seen not much growth at all in any of the corals. And I think that's just due to the destabilising event. You can always tell that as well because your uptake of calcium, alkalinity and magnesium kind of goes down. So I've been reducing the dosing to keep things even. But just in the last week, it's just started to go up and increase. And weirdly, just with that increase, I've seen immediate growth again. It's really strange. So the piece of coral that's really showing me that is this in the middle here. You can just see new nubs, sorry about my fat finger, new nubs of growth coming out from the bottom there and over the top of that purple plasticine which was used to add the coral to the tank. That's happened really quickly, so I think it's back to growing. But overview wise, the biggest update on the tank is that it's staying here for the minute. So there were some thoughts of breaking it down, making it a QT tank for the big new Red Sea tank. In the end, I was about to try and get these fish out, and it just wasn't happening, and the fish trap was probably a little too big that I bought. And my wife just turned around and said, well, why don't you leave it there? It looks really nice. So we now, for my sins, I'm now maintaining both of them and just seeing where we go. I do think this wrasse needs to come out soon and go in the bigger tank though, because it is getting big and they need a good bit of swimming room. So there is a plan to try and catch that at some point. But you can see around the back of the tank that the coralline growth on the pumps and the back is really good. So yeah, it's running really nicely. It's a nice little addition to the front room area. Coral wise, the stylos, which all of these started very small, have all grown in nicely. This hammer actually is probably the bigger grower out of all of them. That started with 2 heads and there's now what, 5 and growing. So that seems quite nice and happy there. You can see the growth on the Montes up the top there, just coming back over on itself, and the fingers are reaching out more. So let's just come around and get a better angle on that growth. Look, that's grown kind of strange like a claw as well. So yeah, these will probably all eventually get either fragged or go in as complete colonies into the new tank because they're SPS, and that's going to be sort of dominant SPS. One other problem I've had, and again, listening out to all you guys who watch, because I know there's loads of YouTubers on here that know their stuff. This Montipora cap has gone white in the middle. Now, it's kind of moved around a bit. I can't see any pests on it, and I blow it off regularly. The wrasse show no interest in it. I was a bit worried it was Montipora eating nudibranchs or flatworms or whatever they are, but I can't actually see anything on there, and usually you can see signs of it. It has changed colour and then come back again as well and recovered, so any advice or any tips on that, please do whack some stuff in the comments. I'd be interested to see if anyone's experienced that before, because I obviously don't want to put that in my new tank if there's a pest on it, but I don't believe there is. I added a tiny bit of bubble algae as well. I've been doing a very small maintenance dose of Vibrant for the last 6 weeks, and literally very small, because I know it strips the tank out, and that hasn't increased. So it's slightly gone down a bit, but the main result has been that it hasn't increased in going around the tank. So again, anything that gets transferred is going to get cleaned, snipped, and no risk of sort of taking that into the new tank. Some of these guys here have just sort of encrusted over the frag plug, but not too much further. The little Monty cap here that I got as a kind of small piece has probably doubled in size since I got it. You see that there? It's just growing out nicely. That's going to go in the new tank. The fungia plate colours are nice and gold. It's doing really well. The zoas haven't really grown on, so I had these kind of wowser zoas here and the Sunny D's. They've just stopped growing and they're not happy enough, and I think it's mainly because I've got low nutrients in the tank, so I keep the nitrate in this tank at about 3 parts per million, and I just think they like it a bit dirtier, but this stuff's all growing, so that'll have to just do one. The Duncan, still a good indicator coral. Whenever you think there's something off, that will shrivel up and go in, but that's grown out nicely. Again, that was only a couple of heads when I got it. There's probably about 30 heads on that now, but they're all very small underneath them ones. So yeah, that might come across the new tank as well. Quick look underneath. Still got our small local fish shop tank for auto top up. That lasts about a week and a half, so that's great. Dosing 1 pot of Reef. from a DD doser, as you can see. Currently dosing about 7 mil a day of this stuff, so obviously if you were dosing a hell of a lot more it'd be expensive, but that kind of quite happy maintaining it there, and it keeps the whole tank stable. So yeah, that's working well. The urchin that was in here didn't make it. I think again that might be down to due to lack of food, so poor judgment on my part probably putting that in such a small tank. We've all got to openly admit our flaws, and that's definitely one of mine. I think I should have waited so it could have cleaned this tank up and then gone in the big Red Sea one. But yeah, sorry Mr. Urchin, learnt my lesson there. But yeah, it's going really well. I really don't want to mess with it too much now. The new tank's not going to be ready for corals for quite some time, so well, I'm not going to push it for corals for quite some time, probably another month or two, so these will get to stay and grow out in here for a bit. But yeah, the clowns, the wrasse are fine. The raw grammar's in there as well somewhere, hiding usually underneath the rock there. But yeah, that's the Red Sea tank. Any questions on it, give us a shout. The plan is to currently leave it. I probably need to get these dosing pumps cleaned. If you look at, they're completely caked in coralline now, but I will be able to scrape a bit of this off and dump it in the new tank as well. So yeah, I'm currently a 2-tank maintaining reefer, which is a little bit scary because there's a lot to do. So on a Saturday morning you've got double the amount of tests now. So yeah, long term, don't know, but for now, really enjoying still having this, and it's stopping me from overdoing it on the new tank. So in a way, it's a good tool for self-control, because I have only just turned the lights on the new tank, and I will do an update of that one very soon, in the next sort of week. But basically, I'm stocking that with fish slowly. Only just turned the lights on 5 or 6 weeks into the cycle, completing. So I'm trying to take my time with that, so I don't absolutely toast it or end up with dinos like I did on a previous tank. So this tank is giving me my fulfillment, so I don't rush it. So it's been good for that, if not anything else. I keep getting this tiny little film of algae in here that I'll brush off with a toothbrush, but that's about it. It doesn't grow any green hair algae. The sand stays nice and clean, barring the odd few patches here you can see of cyano. So if I just brush that around in the tank, it goes and then comes back about a week later. But it's not overtaking anything, so I just don't want to put anything, overkill any treatments that could throw off the rest of the tank, because I do find that you can do more damage over correcting something than just leaving it to play out in this hobby. So I'm really trying to master that act of self-control. Oh, the only other thing that's not working as well, all but died, but there's still a couple of heads on it, is this clove polyp. Just not happening since the move, it hasn't come out. Got a horrible feeling the Duncan over here, it was right near it, and I think it might have stung it. So maybe it'll recover, maybe not. There are some signs of heads on the top of it, but it's just not wanting to come out at all. So I'll try changing the flow as well and see if that works. But yeah, that's the update on the Max Nano. If you've got any questions, please do let me know. Like and subscribe to the channel. Obviously we're going for a massive change in a new 425 litre Red Sea tank that I'm going to be updating you on regularly, and the hope is that that's going to end up a very large SPS sort of acro Monty tank over the next couple of years. So hopefully you'll all join me on that one. Anyway, take care, nice speaking to you all, and I'll catch you in the next one.